the poachers came in. They took dead chickens, poisoned them, soaked them in poison, threw them over the fence. The lions ate them. Yeah.
I mean, it's look. You're very conscious of not being, the great savior from America coming in there because, these people, they're from there. This is their land. Like you said.
I'm a guest.
Exactly. But you still have to then try to, when you're in these situations, in a way, educate them on their own fucking place. At least a part of it that they're ignoring. So it's a very fine line dance you have, but someone's got to do it, because obviously, you just look at the numbers before you guys even started and some of these other organizations too. Like, some of these tactics are working.
They speak for themselves.
Yes.
And I don't think anyone's better fitted to be able to tactically take on what is going on in Africa than you.
You're 100% right. We bring an unconventional approach to a conventional industry and sector.
Yeah.
And that's what's needed. The world's just moving faster every day.
Yeah.
You better bring it. You better get creative and think outside the box or they're going to get you. And we do that.
What is right now, obviously, like you don't personally do undercover stuff anymore because you're too recognized, but like how much does stuff like that perhaps your organization is somewhat involved in still go on with guys like your boy in Tanzania?
I'm not really at liberty to speak about that.
Okay.
Things go on, and I'll tell you, Robert Mandy is a pioneer of it. Other countries have adopted similar strategies.
Got it.
So,
who's the worst? Like, who's your most wanted poaching cell right now? Where are they, and what's their story?
Won't tell you that either, unfortunately. I will tell you that a couple of years ago, there's a poacher by the name of Navarra. Biggest damn scumbag in the world, and they finally arrested him.
Was that the one they got in the Ivory game?
No.
It wasn't. It was a different one.
I don't believe so. No.
Where was he out of? This
Zimbabwe.
guy? Zimbabwe. Yeah. And how big was his organization? Approximately.
I mean, it was a whole village. It was massive. It spread across multiple villages. Had a new car every week.
Who was funding him?
It's a good question. I'm not really going to speak on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we did talk last time a little bit about particularly the culture within countries in East Asia that seems to be very fascinated and enthralled, and not all of them, but some people there, powerful people, in ivory, in rhino horns, and things like this. And it's literally, in some cases, like including the Chinese government connected. Mm-hmm. So when you have, that's the second biggest GDP in the world right there. When you have a government like that who at least implicitly behind the scenes supports things like this, because they look at China. They buy up all this shit in Africa. They don't give a fuck about it. It's a lifelong debtor to them that they're gonna hopefully be able to Shylock or what's the mafia term? The fucking
yeah. What is that term?
What is that term?
Let's ask the connected guy over here. But oh my God, loan sharking. Sorry, shit like that, right? So they're going to be able to do that forever to some of these countries. So they already don't care about it. How do you go up against something like that? A country that powerful who laws don't apply, international laws.
Yeah, they don't know laws. There's nobody to hold them accountable. United Nations, what? Jesus. What the hell? Go stop a war for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
You just do. I mean, you've got to. There are so many conservationists, and once we get our act together, and we are, I say we because we're part of it, and I'm not just going to point the finger at others, but like I said, we'll work with anybody and everybody that's doing the right thing, but once everybody starts to, within conservation, once everybody starts to come together, realize, hey, we're in it for the right reasons, we can really tackle this thing.
Do you think that's happening, right?
I think it's starting to happen. I do. I do. I've seen drastic changes within conservation. I come from a point where people wouldn't even talk to me. People within conservation would hear my name. All because of one BS article.
Yeah.
And now, I've got people reaching out, people willing to even shake my hand. It's like,
That's cool.
that to me shows progress. I just like to see the positives in everybody and everything. It's the only way that you can live life.
The truth does eventually win. I believe that in the world. It's most of the time it does eventually win. And it's kind of cool because like you and Paul Rosalie became friends 4 or 5 years ago, but at a very similar time in very different ways. You two experienced complete bullshit that threatened to ruin you. And then you guys had to kind of build in silence and let actions do the talking. And now, in the last couple years at the same time, the tides are rising and people are like, yo, these guys are doing some badass shit.
It's been so cool to see Paul just getting the credit that he's deserved for so many years. And funny story, Paul comes to Africa the first time. We had talked about this over the phone, like, the crap we've been through. Go figure. Doc Antle from the Lion. What's it called?
Lion.
Or Tiger King.
Tiger King. Yeah.
That scumbag sends Paul Rosalie on Instagram the article about us after Paul had posted that he's out there with us.
Oh my God.
And he goes, dude, because we had literally just gotten done just BSing about it, having a beer about it, like joking.
Tiger King guy.
And he goes, dude, you're never going to believe this. Look at this. And so then when the guy gets arrested and raided by the FBI, I was like, hell yeah, rotten hell scumbag. And I posted it all over my social media.
God, people suck.
But it's
sometimes.
like, it's stuff like that.
Right.
Like, yo, just have some depth in your life and look at where the info's coming from. But no, man, it's been cool, man. You just got to stay positive. Like you said, Chaz, nothing in life is easy. And if it was, bro, how fulfilling would life be? It's all part of the journey. It's roller coaster ups and downs, and stay positive, man. Everything's meant to be perfect.
You know what? I forgot to ask about this, though, too. I just thought of this randomly. But we talked a lot about elephants and rhinos. We mentioned at least pangolins. I know we really educated people on that last time. Maybe we'll get to that. But what about the lions there? Because you mentioned it earlier on in this podcast. They're down to around 19,000, 20,000 across the entire African continent, which is not a lot. But how are we doing there, and what's been the biggest challenge with them from a poaching standpoint? Like, has it been game hunters mostly in that case?
No, it's poaching. So, and listen, when I say this, so when COVID came out, I did an interview with MSNBC, I think it was. And it was a digital interview, and they said, "Do you think that the wet markets in China could have caused this?" And I said, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I can't tell you. Oh, yeah. And so I was like, I said, however, it's something, don't quote me completely, but it was something like this. I said, I do think that, diseases or illnesses can be transmitted that way. It's possible, maybe, but there's a lot of criminal activity that feeds poaching that goes on in those areas. And when that thing came out, I had people hitting Paul up saying I'm a racist and what do you call it?
Xenophobe.
Xenophobe. And I'm like, okay, you're a xenophobe for thinking that I just called out. like seriously, I'm calling out a country here. You're a xenophobe for calling me one. Like, that's where your brain goes to? I don't think so. So I had to clarify because I'm calling it like I see it, and facts are facts. China what's the question here now? You got me throwing.
We went. We were talking about lions.
So
China
here we go. So 90% of the world's ivory is consumed by China. U.S. is a second. Yeah.
Wait. Let's just 90.
I don't have the numbers on lions, but it is ancient Chinese medicinal beliefs that is funneling a lot of this. Lion bone cures diseases.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
Promise you.
Lion bone.
There is a very important place that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm not going to bring them up right now. I'll just tell you who they are. It's in Pretoria, that area, and they have rescued big cats, lions. They even have tigers that they've rescued that were somehow being trafficked in Africa. Yes, kid you not. And they were busted at the airport, and they took them in. When a lion or a tiger has had a human interaction, it can never be released back into the wild. They'll
Why
get
is
annihilated. They've had human interaction. They've been fed by humans. They're behind the curve. They'll never adapt.
Their lifespans also aren't that long.
No,
they're
lions,
like 16 years.
Yeah, 20 if you're lucky for a lion.
People always think of lions like, oh, they're living 40,
years,
50.
yeah.
No.
And they live a rough life too.
Oh yeah.
But the poachers came in. They took dead chickens, poisoned them, soaked them in poison, threw them over the fence. The lions ate them dead within minutes, and they jumped the wall, cut the heads off and the paws off, or the legs off, and took off. So these people who have dedicated their entire life to these animals, rescuing them, taking care of them, their whole life, they show up to work every day. It is their life. And they had to show up to see just their torsos laying there. How brutal is that, man? Yeah.
And there's only 19 to 20,000 of these
Yeah.
things. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.